Alright, so this is the road before us taking off. Watch up in the right hand corner, you can see I zoom in. Bam, dude gets cut off right in the middle of the start. Somebody coming in real hot trying to get the whole shot takes him out. And dude hits the ground, apparently blacked out. His name was Josh Mace. I hope he's okay. He swapped the line for us. They were doing a medical and pulled him out of the way. This is Mideast Harescramble series at Enola round 2. I had a really bad race. This video is a lot shorter than my other ones because of what all happened. At scoring for the second lap, I realized I had a flat tire, and so I ran the entire second lap of my race with a flat. And I run a tubeless, so I can survive that for the most part. But I was worried about beating my rim up because of how much rock and root there was at this track. It was near where we go ride at the place called Brown Mountain, and it was very, very rocky and a lot of elevation change. So I was not worried about traction, and I wasn't worried about messing I don't care about the tire. I just didn't want to destroy my rim, so I ended up pulling off after 2 laps. This course was a lot of fun. The open field sections you can see were kind of dusty because they didn't have much moisture left in the ground, but all the wood sections were just as good of conditions as you could have expected. There was, I think, I only saw one spot of anything you'd actually call mud, and it wasn't deep. It was just a little thing you hit. Everything else was pristine. It was great. They run this course twice a year. I missed it the first time to go to Windy Hill, which was a big mistake because I was on my 300, ended up destroying my expansion chamber. And then I come back. This is the first race back since June for Mideast, and I was super pumped to run this race, and ended up I got a flat tire, and then you'll see at the end of this, I guess I reached up to wipe my GoPro and hit the power button and turned it off, so I ended up only recording part of a first lap. The thing about this course that everybody was worried about, and I got a kind of a pre-game warning that this place was going to be gnarly because of all the hill climbs. There were a lot of hills, a lot of serious descents, and you can't see the couple that are on this part of the video. You can't really tell how steep they are, but they were serious. And if it looks steep-ish on a GoPro, it's real steep. And these ones were very, very, very steep. You had to be really conscious of the things that you were doing and the inputs you were making, because you very easily could have flipped over the bars and just been careening down some hill. But apparently up here on mile marker 2, the hill that we go up, they took this hill out of the race because so many people behind our group got stuck. I didn't see a bottleneck. I only saw a couple times where we'd end up getting like single file with a couple people, but that was just making sure that you could continue on forward. You just had to make sure that you preserve yourself and keep your race going by moving past people as well you could. But apparently there were several minute-long bottlenecks at this second mile marker hill, and they just decided they were going to cut it out. The transitions from the woods to the fields, where you can see how dusty it is, was a little rough. I'm suffering from it a little bit. You can hear I'm kind of congested because I think it's from inhaling all the dust. This was our first real, it wasn't even called a dust race, but it was the first race with any significant amount of dust. A lot of really cool features, but a lot of really good use of the terrain. Like, they had a couple of these long bombing downhills that were in a gully, but they had cut the trail into these like radius turns in the gully. You could sweeping back and forth along the walls, and it was just full acceleration down the hill. The 2 laps I did of this course, I was really, really pleased by it, and I wish I could have done more and finished the race. I still think I finished 11th out of 16 in Vet C, even only after doing 2 laps. Which, I mean, for not finishing a race, to not finish dead last is pretty amazing to me. All of these sections that look like they're pretty flat and kind of not technical at all, they're all just rock. A loose silt. So it was like, you'd go from hard-packed rock to roots into sand silt into, a climb or a descent into dust. And so it just really tested, I feel like it was a good test for the people who were talking about their abilities and the people that say things about their technical riding. This is the hill they cut out, which I'm not entirely sure why it was a big deal. It wasn't that bad. It was a straight shot into it and then a rocket ship up. This is Byron. Me and him fought for all of the first lap, and then most of the second lap. We followed each other for a long way. It was a lot of fun. I just gotta say, I was disappointed in my performance, not because of how I did. It's just because of I did all that. You know, you set up the bike prep and you're all excited to go race, and then something happens and you don't get to do the thing you wanted to do. So it just is a big bummer for me to have to pull off so early. I tried to go back out and get my tire fixed. And running tubeless, I thought, man, I could just shove a car tire plug in it and be good if I could find one, but I didn't have any, which is a mistake. I should have some anyways, and nobody else seemed to have any either. I did find somebody with a pump that was willing to help me, but I couldn't get, wasn't going to hold air, so I just didn't want to destroy my rim. Like I've said before, this isn't I'm not winning money doing this. This is just for fun, so the idea of destroying my bike to do it is not super appealing. I'll do it to an extent, but for the most part I'm going to preserve what I can by not intentionally destroying my stuff. Some of these downhills that they had were, you can see where the trees have been burned. I guess there was a big fire here. Some of these downhills were cool because there were multiple lines. You could just take whatever line you wanted, and if you were real committed to it, like if I was committed to it, I could have made that pass, but I know who this is, and I didn't want to shove him off into the woods. But then you can also say, hey, well, you missed a chance to pass somebody there because you were too, I guess, courteous. I don't know what the word would be, but I was just not racing aggressively there, as aggressively as I should have been. I'm really debating on moving up classes. I know I'm ready for Vet B. I know I can hang in Vet B. I just would like to finish this series and see where I finish up in Vet C. Or there's definitely some. Me, Gary, probably all the top 5 guys should definitely move up to Vet B, at least. But I think we're all going to see how this series ends up, see how it all plays out, and then next season we'll all move up to another group. Here's another one of these sections where if I was just a little more aggressive, I could have pushed into him. I could have just, you slam pass into him, but it was one of those things where it's just, the guy, and I don't want to, maybe somebody else would have raced differently, but I don't want to slam into him and knock him down to make a pass. I'll make a clean pass later on. This is getting towards the end of the video. You'll see up here I reach up and I go to wipe the lens, and I guess I bumped the button, so this is going to be the end of it. This is just a part of the beginning of the first lap. I'm really bummed that it's not a longer video because this course was so good that it would have been a really nice video to have the whole course layout and then later on be able to show off a good long lap of this course. You'll learn a lot when you make these kind of mistakes, and it's something I'll just move on from. Next video is going to be from Little Brown Jug Enduro, and then following that will be at Bearpin for the next Mideast race. I'll see you there. Peace, guys.